Speaking of another massive market, China has responded pretty aggressively just this week. I do agree that initially you think they almost seem like they're a little more used to this dance given the round of tariffs from the first administration. But this time around, they reacted pretty aggressively towards top allies of the president. They went after ag, ranchers, energy producers, car makers. And at the same time, they're ramping up defense spending, which obviously causes issues for us in different ways that it doesn't seem like we're fully thinking through some of those ramifications. At the same time, as I mentioned earlier, there is this interesting dynamic about the Panama Canal and control of ports and shipping that seems to be part of the undertone. The other piece of news that I thought was so interesting was that the president announced this week that TSMC is going to have a huge investment in the United States, and that is causing consternation in Taiwan. This is obviously your region. You have tons of knowledge about this. So with that set up, what is happening with China? What do you think is happening that we might not be fully appreciating from the outside looking in?
It's interesting, Neetha. I think that China has actually been pretty measured in its reaction. I think you're right. I think China really learned from the first Trump term, as they were the target and will continue to be the target in this term. I think China has really refined its playbook in terms of dealing with the threat of a trade war. And it's not just a tit-for-tat tariff retaliation. China's developed its unreliable entities list. It has taken action against certain U.S. companies from an antitrust perspective. It has barred certain export controls in addition to tariffs. And so with each announcement that now this administration has had with China, you've seen an announcement, a response, an announcement, a response. But there's a lot more that China can do to really damage the trade relationship.